Let's bring in Jenn Harper. Jenn is the founder and CEO of Cheekbone Beauty. They're a Canadian Indigenous-owned cosmetics company. Just one example of different companies in our country trying to navigate what the Trump administration has done, how it's going to play out, trying to ship stuff to the U.S. As you know, Jenn, very well, trying to navigate all of this, and it's just very confusing. Now you've got this new rule, which means your products will be slapped likely with some kind of a new duty tax as of today if you're trying to ship to customers in the U.S. Well, what's going on your end?
Yes, absolutely. Confusing, I think, is the best way to describe it. Our team has been working diligently on trying to find the best solutions and working with our shipping partner, who has been extraordinary during this process. But just the level of paperwork that's been involved, and we just got a call from Customs, U.S. Customs today on a new issue with FDA issues with product, and so there's just a ton of paperwork, which is extremely time-consuming for a small business. We're only 6 full-time people at Cheekbone Beauty, and I know that there's many solo entrepreneurs around the country, so I can see why I'm seeing this trend of people just saying they cannot ship to the U.S. at the moment. And we know from looking at all of these cost analysis that it's legitimately going to cost our business, and we've made the decision to swallow the costs of the tariffs for our U.S. customers, because really at the end of the day it's not their fault this is happening. And in the meantime, we're looking at, and literally we'll be looking at this from like a 30-day, like a month-by-month scenario to see how long we will be able to maintain that.
Yeah, such a nightmare. I know you're coming to us from St. Catharines in southwestern Ontario. Can I ask you, Jenn, basically, how much of your business is tied to American customers?
Yeah, we were about 30 to 70 pre-January 2025, and the Buy Canadian movement actually increased our Canadian customer base over the last 8-9 months. And so we've definitely seen an increase in Canadian customers, which is very welcomed, and we absolutely love that. But it means now we're doing about an 80-20. So there's still a solid base. We haven't lost our U.S. customers. We've just gained more Canadian customers, which was really, truly welcomed.
Yeah, you talked about the, the red tape here, the bureaucracy that's now involved. And, a lot of it depends on, where the products are from, how much you're shipping, what the cost is, and you got to make all these calculations, which just adds more work, as you put it, more paperwork here. We know what the Trump administration is trying to do. They say, they want Americans to buy from American companies. They also want to crack down on big e-commerce sites like, Temu and Shein. But this is not just targeting China. This is targeting countries around the world, including in Canada. So, your company, one example of tens of thousands in our country that now has to deal with this nightmare.
Yes, absolutely. And we have, many of our goods made here in Canada, many of them made in Italy, and we've done some cost analysis, and we're thinking, because really nothing is certain at this point until we start to see the numbers, but it's roughly going to cost us about another 25 to 30% to ship to our U.S. customers.
25 to 30%. So what does that mean? Does that make you no longer competitive in the American market? Are you rethinking how you market your products? You talked about sort of a 30-day window. What do you think might lie ahead for Cheekbone Beauty?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish I could see that far into the future and get a true understanding of what the numbers are going to look like. But at this point, thankfully, I chose to start a business where the margins are really, they're excellent. And so we are able to have some room there for that 25 to 30%. It doesn't mean we're going to be making a ton of money off our U.S. customer, but at this time, we're not putting the cost on them. We are going to absorb it and make decisions literally on this month-to-month basis.
Hey, Jenn, I appreciate you taking some time for CTV. I know there's got to be a lot going on, but it's great to get the word out there. Thank you talking to us about Cheekbone Beauty. Much appreciated.
No problem. Thank you.
Jenn Harper there in St. Catharines, Ontario.